Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. In today's video, I'm going to show you the absolute best way that I found to create cool pun type t-shirt designs. And when I say puns, really what I'm saying is these funny sayings or these catchy sayings where somebody will look at the shirt, it's almost like a joke in a way, but people understand it, people get it. It captures people's attention. They're awesome to wear. It just works perfectly. You guys have seen them all. I've created some before. They're more like play on word type shirts, t-shirt designs, whatever you want to call them. But this works pretty much every time. I've never really struggled with this. So the first thing is you got to have your subject. In my case, you could see here, I have a picture of a corgi drinking a coffee or a latte or whatever you want to call it, right? This is my subject, right? So you have to create a subject. The second thing is you want to come up with a cool saying. Now, how are you going to come up with a cool saying? That's super easy. GPT is going to do the job for you. I use the same prompt pretty much every single time. I don't switch it around. It's super easy to do, and I actually have two examples here. Okay, so all I do is I go to GPT and I say, please create funny puns / sayings / or commonly well-known quotes that go great on a t-shirt that relate to, and then whatever the subject is. So remember in the beginning where we mentioned information about a subject, right? A subject of the video of the t-shirt design. Well, in my case, what's the subject? The subject is a corgi with a latte or a coffee or, something related to that, right? And in my case, right, that's exactly what I wrote here. So relate to a corgi drinking coffee. And it does that for me. It does a great job doing that for me. And look, it gives me 15 different variations. It says, sure, here's some playful and punny sayings related to corgi enjoying a cup of coffee. Perfect for a t-shirt. So the first one says espresso, then corgi cuddles. That works. I can definitely add that to my design. Pause for coffee. That works as well. And I could see the play on that when we use the word pause, like the pause button, right? P-A-U-S-E, pause, but it's spelled P-A-W-S, okay? Been there, bark that. So been there, done that, right? That's a play on words. Latte love in a small package. That's really good, right? Because it's a latte love. So you guys kind of get the point, right? Well, let's see if we can apply this to a different design. Like I said, I don't want to go through all 15, but let's, like I said, apply this to a different design. Well, it just so happens that in my AI image generation history, I have a picture of like these cats, these ancient Egyptian type cats that looks like the Sphinx. I'll kind of show you what I mean by this. Let me hit load here. Let me scroll down. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. You see these pictures of like these cats, these Sphinx looking type cats. These are like literally like a Sphinx to me. Like this looks like a Sphinx to me. So I did that. That's the subject of my art. I went ahead and wrote it here. So same exact prompt, literally nothing changed, just the word Sphinx. And then here we have, boom, 15 different sayings, right? So we have perfection comes in hairless packages. Who needs fur with a personality like this? Sphinx, because life's too short for shedding. That's a good one. Bald and beautiful. Fur, I think you mean purr. Sphinx, wrinkles and cuddles. Naked ambition, warm heart, cold ears. Out of fur, full of love. That's a good one. Who needs a sweater when you have a Sphinx? Okay, interesting. Hairless and carefree. Embrace the baldness, wrinkles of wisdom, Sphinx, the original lap warmer, all the warmth, none of the hair. That's an interesting one. Some of these might work, some of these might not work. Like, for example, I personally would not use wrinkles of wisdom on a piece of, or a graphic like this. Why? It doesn't look like it applies to me. Well, I could do something else. I could change how the words are described. So, for example, I'll just go in here, copy the exact same prompt, but instead of writing the word Sphinx, I might write ancient Egyptian cat, right? And I'll hit enter and see if anything changes. Now, once again, this is an abstract example. I gave you guys a simple example here. This is an abstract one. Let's see if we can come up with any other options or any other ideas. The first one, walk like an Egyptian, purr like a pharaoh. I like that one. This one, the third one says positively pharaonic, which is like pharaonic, positively, right? Not positively, but positively. That one is probably really good. You know, that's one of the best. I'm not just a cat, I'm a deity. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Sphinxter, not Sphinx. Okay, I like that one too. I mean, there's so many good ones. So you get the point, right? You don't have to be a genius to come up with these puns. You don't even have to have a lot of experience. You could see here, I personally, with my brain power, would not be able to come up with sayings like these. That's just me. Maybe you guys can, but I know I can't. So let's go ahead, have some fun, and create some of these. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to those corgi designs that I have here, and I'm going to download this image. I'm going to hit download, or actually, excuse me, I'm going to upscale this first before I download it, and then I'll go ahead and download it. Let's click Alchemy Refiner. Let's upscale this to a high, upscale. And I'm going to create a bunch of different sayings with this one so we can test it. We can even use this image as well here. I'll go ahead and hit download. And something that I will say is if you want to take this strategy a step further, right, you might want to do some keyword research before you even create the design. Because this video is a beginner's tutorial kind of stuff, we're not going to go into the keyword research aspect, but if you wanted to take this, like I said, a step further and kind of make sure that you know you're going to get somewhere with the design, do some keyword research, do some niche research, make sure you find the right niche where you can apply the design to so you can maximize your success that way. But anyways, here I have the design. I'll go ahead and hit download here. Let's go ahead and enlarge the image. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this image and I'm going to upscale it with my internal upscaler. Just drag it and drop it here. And the image is already 1400 pixels. So I'm just going to click 4x upscale. I don't need to go anything higher than that. Once that's taken care of, it's upscaled at 4x. I can see kind of the before, the after. It looks a little bit more sharp, a little bit cleaner. I'm going to go ahead and export it. And I'm just going to give it a random name here and hit save. After it's saved, I'm going to drag and drop that same graphic into Canva. And great, now I have the graphic within Canva. Now the graphic is still an image with a background. So if I go ahead and switch the background here, you can see how it still has this white background. I want to go ahead and remove that background. So I'm going to click on the actual image, select background remover tool within Canva, and it will go ahead and remove the background for me. Makes life a little bit easier. If you didn't see one of my last videos, I kind of showed how to do this without Canva. So if you have trouble with that, just watch my last video. It'll kind of help you there. And now that I'm on a colored background and that I have the actual image, I can look at the components of the image and see if there's anything that I might want to erase. So for example, I might want to erase some details here, right? I might want to erase some details here, for example, like something like this. It's kind of up to me what I choose to do. It's up to you as well if you want to keep something, remove something, right? So I think this is good for now. So now that that's taken care of, I'm going to go back to this white background now that I know that my background is removed. And I'm going to head over back to GPT and kind of take a look at what saying I can add to my design and how it would make sense. What I'm thinking is having some text on the top, having some text on the bottom, and calling it a design. Super simple, super basic, but gets the job done. One of the biggest tips I've ever given on this YouTube channel that I keep repeating, and probably one of the most effective ones, is you don't have to have the best design, but you have to have a buyable design. A design that's just simply good enough to be purchased. It doesn't have to be amazing. You don't have to be the best artist, just something good enough to get the job done. So keeping my strategy in mind where I just have some text on the top, some text on the bottom, make it look nice, it's pretty basic. It's not too difficult to do. So let's go ahead and look at a saying that we could do that with. Here it says espresso, then corgi cuddles. That works. We have pause for coffee. Yeah, it's a little bit small of text. I would want a little bit more for this type of design. Latte love in small packages. I think that's the one I'm going to go with, right? So I'm going to copy this saying here, latte love, and latte love comes in small packages, or latte love in a small package. I could play around with the words, right? So, you know what? I actually like this one better. Short legs, tall lattes. That's a good one. I'm going to take this. They're all good, don't get me wrong. But I'm going to take the text and I'm going to start adding some text to it. So I have a text here. I have some text here, okay? And that's about where I would want them. And I'm going to just paste the whole entire saying here. We have little short legs. I'll take this, cut this, and add the text here. So now I have text on the top and on the bottom. Now this is unattractive though. I can't have my text look like this. This is just, not the way. So I'm going to have to pick a font. So let's just say I pick my font here and I pick this font here. Typically I'm looking for some chunky, fatter fonts that will stand out once the design is printed. So that's what I'm personally going with. So I'll hit here the effects button, give this curved effect to it, and I'm going to kind of control the curve so it doesn't curve, all the way down, but it has some natural curve to it to follow the style of the design. And I'm going to push it to the back, and I'm going to move it up slightly. So something like this. I might even take my image and kind of make it just a little bit smaller so this text is a little bit more visible. I can also increase the size of my actual font by just simply clicking here on this little dot, which is a button that can increase the size of the image. And of course, as I increase the size of the image, I might be forced to increase the curvature, okay? And we obviously want it to fit, so I might have to make it a little bit smaller. Might even have to change how this is presented, just to, like I said, make it all fit. So this kind of looks decent for now. Now we have here our curved text. We have the image and a flat line of text. This flat line of text does work for the scenario. I don't always have to make it a perfectly circular design. I don't have to have an effect here and an effect here. That's simply an option. I think I like the way it looks now. So what's left to do? Well, there's a few things I could do. The first thing I could do is change color of the font. And the second thing I could do is add some like confetti or whatever it is that's going around this photo around some of the text. So let's do that. Let's go in here and pick some of the colors that could potentially work for this text. Let's start off at the top, at this curved section. And the first thing I'm going to do is click on the color button, and I'm just going to assess some of the text that's already in there. So we have the white colored text, which obviously we can't see right now. We have the orange, we have the blue, we have this black color that's already in the canvas, and we have this pink. They all look pretty good, but the orange kind of grabs my attention a little bit more. I don't know about you guys, but it grabs my attention a little bit. I think I'm going to go with that. And speaking of the orange text, I see some of this like swirly stuff kind of impeding on the orange text, and I definitely don't want that. So I'm going to select the image. I'm going to go back to edit photo and just remove some of this here just to get it out of the way. I know it does look good, but because of the text, because of everything, the way it looks, I'm going to have to remove it. And for purposes of design, I want my left to be somewhat symmetrical to my right, and it doesn't feel balanced when I have a lot of confetti, or I guess you could say imagery here, but not that much here. And I don't really know what to call this. You can call this abstract kind of shapes and whatever, but I don't want not that much here and a lot here. So for that reason, I'm just going to go ahead and erase some of this. I can always add more to it later, but this is going to suffice me for now. So there we go. If the design looks a little weird because I have a couple things left over here, I can go ahead and erase these as well, right? So nothing too crazy. And once again, I can always add some more later. And I actually plan to. So now that the text looks a little bit better, okay, I can see if the bottom text will look the same if I add the same color font. So let's go ahead and head over to the color font, select the color font, and once again, something seems a little bit different about this. Let's see how it plays out, right? So let's see what exactly happens. I can test the design, by the way, and duplicate it. So this is something I like to do pretty often. I duplicate my design, I get rid of some of the text here, and get rid of some of the text here, and see what it would look like if I kind of compiled them on top of each other, kind of like this. In my case, once again, it doesn't really work for me. So I'm going to get rid of this. Another thing that I test is fonts. So yes, I have a font here, Doesn't mean I can't have a different font on the bottom. Let's go ahead and test it. So let's see. I can pick something like this, for example, and make it all capital. Once again, a little too skinny for my liking. I want something a little fatter. So I'm going to revert back to the original text, and I'm going to select the effects button, select an outline. I'm going to enlarge the font here and maybe have like a border color. Could match the same color as this. It could be different. Let's just use white, for example. And we could even use a black background just to see the effects of it. So a black background, kind of text like this. And I could even do the same thing here. I can go into the effects button, select the outline, make it white, and see how it looks. Now here in my bottom text, I can click effects and I have a 92 thickness for my outline. Here, I have a 50. There's a larger discrepancy there, and even though this is the smaller, finer details of the art, it's somewhat noticeable. So what I could do is I can go over here and I increase this just a little bit more, so that it's less noticeable. And you could see that this font is larger than this font. So I can't really have an outline that's just as large. It could be a little bit smaller. So something like this will suffice once again. And this is in the high 70s, low 80s. So that outline kind of matches with this. It looks decent. So now this design is good enough to be sold, just like this. But we could also add a little bit more details. So I could search for something like a star, right? And I could take something like this, or actually like this a little bit more. And I can switch the colors. So this color here, I'll use the same orange here just for symmetry purposes so that there's some elements on both sides, kind of like that, so that nothing sticks out. And, that's kind of decent to where it is right now. I don't think I need to do anything else to the design. If I really wanted to get extra creative, I could search for some paint splatter and add some different elements. So, for example, we have paint splatter of this yellowish orange here. We have paint splatter of this pink. I can add different details around the design, kind of like this, to the design. But like I said, it's not necessary. Like something like this, or however I want to set it up. But once again, it's not necessary, so I'm going to get rid of it. And that's an example of a simple design. It's transparent, it looks decent, it's buyable, and it could definitely work from a sales standpoint. If you want to see me post this design on TeePublic, Redbubble, and tag it properly, let me know in the comments down below. And in fact, if I've already posted that video, take a look at the description. I probably already posted that video, or in the coming day I'll post it, and you'll be able to see how I tag this, how I title this, etc. So I'll leave a link in the description. You can watch the video of me taking this design and posting it on Redbubble, posting it on TeePublic. You'll see how I would do it. All right. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this video was informative, beneficial, and more importantly, effective. I'll leave some links in the description if you want to get some of my TeePublic, Redbubble courses, step-by-step help around how to tag, how to title, how to design, all those kind of things. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Bye.